And it is great that the industry is growing and there's all these people way smarter than myself and that are out there finding solutions to all the problems that we're experiencing. And hopefully one day there is a bit of utopia and, property management is not regarded as a stress-filled, chaotic and burnout-prone industry. And it's, people will come flocking back into it. Welcome to the Property Management Podcast. I don't know about you, but one of the things that I think is really amazing right now in the property management industry is the growing number of people, coaches, trainers, and businesses stepping up to share their collective knowledge and provide solutions to solve the biggest challenges in property management. There's literally someone out there now willing to help with all of our struggles, from recruitment to stress and burnout. And funnily enough, one of the biggest challenges is our ability to embrace change, especially when it comes to new automation, software and tech tools, or even offshore support. Now, you've probably heard this story before, but I'll share it again. I lost 4 property managers in one day when I told them we were changing software to Property Me and onboarding a virtual assistant. I was left with around 500 managements at the time to manage all of them, and also onboarding the VA and changing the software. In the end, it was actually a blessing because it's how I started That Property Mum. While I was sitting there in the trenches for close to 16 hours a day, I kept saying to myself over and over again, there has to be an easier way to do property management. And that's how I came up with the processes and systems, or the foundations of my business. And let me tell you, the new property managers that I recruited afterwards couldn't believe how much easier their job was. That's not to say it was perfect and there was never an issue again, because I would be lying. Of course, it was a work in progress, but the foundations were solid. The processes were set up, the systems were implemented to streamline, and the virtual assistants took away a huge chunk of the administration work. And what having all of that set up meant for me as the business owner, well, I was able to focus on my strengths again, which are growth and marketing. And of course, the other exciting part of it, exciting part of all those months of hard slog, was being able to share the solutions with others in the industry through my That Property Mum platform. Now, my guest today is one of those superstars, stepping up to provide much needed solutions to help reduce stress and burnout in property management. Jess Whatman started in real estate straight out of school, but recently realised there was room for a different approach to the offshoring solutions currently available to real estate businesses. She's managed to successfully combine her passion for real estate and helping others to bring AgentSync to life. Now, AgentSync was created to provide the perfect mix of procedural streamlining, AI software, and offshoring, which will provide valuable efficiencies within your agency, allowing your team to focus on the customer service and dollar-producing activities. Now, who wants that? That's a yes, please, from me. Thank you very much. So let's dive in and take a listen to Jess's story. Thank you so much, Jess, for joining me on the Property Management Podcast. Now, before we dive in, can you please tell our audience a little bit about yourself, how you got started in property management and doing what you're doing now?
Sure. So thank you, first of all, for having me here. My name is Jess and I am the owner of AgentSync. I have been in real estate for about 20 years now. And ever since I finished school, I just fell into it and I have never left. I think when you start that young, you sort of start in admin or reception and you work your way up, and that's what I've done. But it's only the last year or so that I started my agency called AgentSync, and I really what I focus on is helping agencies with coaching, training, and a big passion of mine is offshoring. So that's me in a little nutshell.
And so tell me a little bit more about your offshoring. How does that
Yeah.
work? How did you, what gap, I guess, in the market did you see to start doing that or
Yeah.
pivoting into that business?
Yeah, sure. So I was working for a agency in Sydney, and I was at the management sort of executive level. And one of my roles was to go over to the Philippines and learn about offshoring and how to implement it into the agency. So that was about 8 years ago. And it took a couple of trips over there because it was very sort of unknown at that time. But we quickly saw the positives that it can bring to an agency in terms of, I guess, structure and, of course, cost efficiencies and things like that. So I did that for them, and I saw a few gaps in the market then for offshoring in terms of really having that hands-on approach. I think there is a lot of offshoring companies out there, and you could go to any of them and they will find you a team member. But I like to have that really hands-on approach with agency owners, property managers, agents, and help them with that, how to do it and how to streamline their business to incorporate an offshore team member and get the best use out of them and working well as a team.
Time management is precious for property managers with so many tasks to do every single day and week. Have you ever thought about how much time you waste in an average day troubleshooting annoying maintenance questions? Let me tell you, it's a lot. But there is a solution. They're called Rental Heroes, and they are the #1 natural language AI conversation platform for real estate. What does that mean? They have artificial intelligence automation that deals with all your tenant maintenance inquiry. It even logs a job in your software, all without you having to do a thing. And if you thought that was amazing, wait until you try their chatbot that collects leads on your website 24/7. Now, we all need a hero in our life, so why not make yours Alex? Mention this podcast and you'll receive your first month free. It only takes 30 minutes to set up and there are no lock-in contracts. Head to the show notes to book yourself in. I love that. I think that's really great, taking that personal approach to something it is actually big. Adding a new team member to your business is actually bigger deal than people think. But let's talk about stress and burnout, which has been the hottest topic in property management for the last 12 months.
Okay.
And I know personally, running my business in the early days, I had no systems, I had no processes. Everyone was running around chasing their tails. Things got missed, mistakes were made. It was literally chaos.
Yeah.
What are you finding now? I know you see inside a lot of different businesses. What are you seeing now that is causing this stress and burnout?
I think it's no surprise the last few years with COVID and the bushfires and all of that has caused a lot of stress and a lot of property managers to leave the industry. We also have a few, older PMs that really get stuck in their ways, and there's so much tech available, AI and prop tech, but also systemizing what you're doing every day. I think we really need to get out of that mindset that we'll just keep doing our job the way we've always done it. There is so much available to us, and it's not also, always about offshoring. It's about automation and using the best tools that are available to us. So I think I've really helped a few owners in the last 12 months in finding what is the best program, the best system, how to change their procedures to make the best use out of the PM's time. And, whether that's offshoring or something else, but offshoring has been a huge factor of that because you're freeing up that property manager to focus on the tasks that are really important, the client facing or business growth activities, and you're offshoring those, boring, mundane, repetitive tasks that really, we don't want to be doing, but they love it. So, if you can incorporate a bit of offshoring, but also learn about how to systemize and automate some of your business, it can make the world of difference.
Can we maybe dive into a few of those solutions to reduce stress? What are some of the AI or the tech solutions that you have been implementing into businesses, and the top systems that businesses should be looking at?
Yeah, for sure. So, look, there's a lot out there, and there's tons of different companies. A few that I like, and look, you can even bring it down to something as basic as Trello, which is a free platform, and you can
Love it.
Yeah, me too. I have it in my business. I use it in a lot of sales offices as well. But, just to make all your checklists digital. And that way you can have multiple people in your office or offshore using the one Trello board, and you've got all your checklists there. You can move your board to, another team member, and they can pick up right where you left off. So, really gone are the days of having a bit of paper and you're putting it on your desk and you're moving it to someone else's desk, or you're scanning it, putting it in a file and hoping to God that it's all completed, correctly. Something as easy as that. And, that's free. I think you get up to 10 boards for free. And to implement that can seem like overwhelming and daunting, but once it's set up, and there's loads of help out there, myself, I've got friends in the industry that do this for a living, and once it's set up, it's a game changer.
Fantastic. And what about some of the other the top systems, I guess? What's some recommendations there?
Yeah, so one that I really like, Property Me, that is constantly changing and evolving. And I have found it's funny because when I interview a lot of my offshore VAs who would like to work with me, they're all using Property Me. So that shows that, if they've had experience in property management previously, that's one of the best tools that is available. And, a lot of the bigger agencies are using that as well. So that's all, a good indication of something that's working well in the industry. Another one is Inspect Real Estate and all the changes that they've made lately. I really like that platform as well.
Property inspections, entries, exits, incomings, outgoings, routine inspections, whatever you call them, you have to do them. And I remember when I first started as a property manager, you had to handwrite the reports and take notes on a digital camera, then upload the photo memory card to your computer and hope and pray that they weren't all blurry or your computer had enough memory to store them. But gone are those days, thanks to Inspection Express. Now, Inspection Express is not only the number one tool used by leading property managers across Australia and New Zealand, but the leader in groundbreaking new tech in the industry with the launch of 360-degree virtual tours. Now, virtual tours is upping the ante, giving landlords, owners, and directors unparalleled 360-degree virtual access to their properties. So head to the link in the show notes to book in your free demo with Inspection Express. Yep, I just had interviewed one of the ladies, Kelly, was it Kelly? I think it was Kelly, from that platform.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I've had so many podcast interviews since I've been back. I've lost track of everybody that I've been, actually it was Courtney, it wasn't Kelly, it was Courtney.
Yeah,
Courtney, yeah, from Respect Real Estate. Yeah, and some of their new innovative stuff that they've got coming on is really exciting. So yeah, so that is amazing. And it is great that the industry is growing and there's all these people way smarter than myself and that are out there finding solutions to all the problems that we're experiencing. And, hopefully one day there is a bit of utopia and, property management is not regarded as a stress-filled, chaotic and burnout-prone industry. And it's, people will come flocking back into it because it is a bit sad, the state that it's in. And you would have seen the changes after being in the industry for 20 years. Yeah. What was it like when you started?
A lot different, I feel. We didn't have this revolving door like we seem to have now in property management. And it's sad because you've got really great skilled people that are doing a wonderful job and they think, I don't need this stress. I can make, as much money doing something else. So they leave the industry, which is really sad. So I think there's lots of positives already here, if not, not far away. And I really hope that agency owners and property managers, take all the changes on board, and try to what am I trying to say? Try to just reduce that stress for their team members, so they can keep their staff and we can attract new upcoming staff for sure.
And are you finding with the offshoring solution that is helping businesses retain staff? Is that helping with the staffing numbers?
Yeah, absolutely. Because like I said before, you want to look at sort of the roles that each of your team are doing, and pick them apart, I guess, and find out what that PM wants to do, and what they are really good at, and take all that mundane admin stuff away from them. It's, what is the point of someone with that sort of skill set sitting at a desk doing admin and, invoicing all day, when their skills are better, going out and meeting the landlords and the tenants and inspecting the properties and doing those things that are really going to is the best customer service really for the clients.
Yeah, I always say property management is all about customer service. That's the core of any successful business. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. And tell me a little bit about your offshoring solution. How is that different to others in the market? Like you said, there is a lot of different options out there for business owners. How does yours work?
Yeah, so I have structured mine a little bit different, just as a point of difference. I am the face of AgentSync, but I like to have that really hands-on approach with interviewing, with, getting really, I guess, down and dirty into the agency, finding out exactly what they would like to offshore, but also what would be a really good benefit for them and their staff. And I like to, like I said, pull everything apart and restructure it to what's going to work well. And then I find the right person for the role, and I train, coach them. And ongoing, there's lots of training and support from myself for not only the VA, but for the agency. So I've heard of lots of agencies where they will hire someone, place them there, and then that's sort of it. You're left by yourself to train and onboard them. Yeah, that's not my style. Yeah, so a little bit different in how I like to do things. And if I see something where, it's not necessarily the best option to offshore, maybe there's automation available, we'll go down that path. Whatever's best for the agency.
So it's almost like it's a tailor-made service, whatever the agency needs at that particular time. So what are some of the top tasks then that, and do you do sales as well? Is it sales tasks as well? Yep.
Absolutely. I actually started AgentSync because my background is mainly sales and that admin, marketing, executive support to sales agents. But over time, I've had a lot of property managers, property management agencies come to me and say, we need your help. And so it has evolved very quickly into servicing property managers as well. And because it's not primarily my background, if I need assistance, I've got, lots of friends in the industry, and I pull them in and we work together on solving that agency's, whatever their problems are, and coaching, training for the agency.
If you are anything like me, you think you know your rent roll numbers. Well, I thought I did until I had a rent roll health check, and I was quite literally shocked. The money I was leaving on the table was astounding. And this is not something that I'm proud to admit. There were missed management fees, let fees, advertising, and lease renewal fees not being charged, and properties even without bonds. And all of this was happening despite monthly audits being conducted in my business. So how did I uncover all these gaps in my valuable income? Well, I had a rent roll due diligence from my good friend Tazi, aka the Rent Roll Queen and founder of the Tazi Way, a specialist in rent roll due diligence, business valuation, and management rights. The Tazi Way is the innovative force driving the real estate industry with 25 years of business and real estate acumen, They find gaps and risks in your agency to find undiscovered value. If you'd like to book your business in for a rent roll due diligence, head to the link in the show notes and mention That Property Mum for a 10% discount. Fantastic. Now, I love personal development. Can you share a resource, book, podcast, something that you think our listeners will be able to learn and grow from?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm really big on listening to podcasts. I love to multitask. So to put on a good podcast and, take a drive or clean the house. So obviously listen to your podcast quite a lot. There's loads of others, and I really recommend listening to podcasts on the industry because you'll always learn something. I'm also at the moment listening to an audio book from Grant Cardone. It's called the 10X Rule, and it's about 10Xing your business and what that would look like. So do you have the systems in place? Do you have the staff in place? Do you have everything in place if something, for example, if a developer came and knocked on your door and said, I've got a block of 100 units and I want you to manage them starting tomorrow, do you have everything in place to be able to do that? A lot of us don't, but we need to start thinking like that. So put in, new software in place or procedures in place to really be able to do that and do that quickly. So yeah, it's a great read or listen if you're into that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have been recommended that book before. I haven't got around to it yet. I've got a pile of books beside my bed at the moment that I'm trying to get through desperately. Yes. But I totally agree with what you with that principle there of having things set up and ready for growth. One thing I always recommend when I'm doing any coaching as well with clients is to start screen recording all your processes and procedures, anything that you want that you can pass on. Just start building your own little training library. I think, and that's really helped me as I've grown from sort of 1 to now 3 people in. Actually 4 of us now in our business. So in my little side business, which is That Property Mum. So, which is not so little anymore.
That's amazing. And I totally agree. Like Loom is an amazing program, really quick and easy. There's also another one called Tango. I don't know if you've heard of that.
No.
What you do is you click a button and then you use your mouse and you click through whatever the procedure would be, and it records it and creates the manual for you. Literally in about 2 seconds, you'll have a manual of a process, and it captures on the screen exactly, what you've clicked. And then you can write next to it, click here and press this, but it does it for you.
That's amazing. So what's it called? Tango?
Tango.au, or just Google like Tango procedures. You'll find it.
Brilliant. How can our audience connect with you further?
Yeah, I'm always on Instagram, so AgentSync_Jess Whatman, or my website, agentsync.com.au. You can find me there.
And do you do a free demo or a free call, strategy call?
Absolutely, yeah, 30-minute free, strategy call. And would love to connect with anyone and have a chat.
Fantastic. I'll share all your links in the show notes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really grateful to have had you on the podcast.
No, thank you so much.
There's been so much talk of stress, overwhelm, and burnout in property management lately. Do you want to know how I overcame all of that? Yes, I hit rock bottom multiple times, but I got myself a virtual assistant. Actually, not just 1, but 3. But I didn't just get any VA. I got a PMVA. What are they? Well, they are the most well-trained in the business. And not only that, you also have a backup VA, so that essentially your business is never without admin support ever again. And my health, time, and business has never looked back. Your PMVA can take care of tasks like rent arrears, lease preparation and renewals, maintenance follow-up, routine inspection bookings, data entry, audits, prospecting, inbox management, and so much more. And the best part of implementing a PMVA in my business was that it freed up my time and my team's time to take care of important things like customer service. What makes me feel so safe is that PMVA is owned by Tiffany Botel, both here and in the Philippines, making my data secure and giving me more control over the VA arrangement. So head to the link in the show notes to book in your discovery call with Lady Boss Tiff. Okay, tell me, would you like to make maintenance your superpower? Well, you can. And you don't even need to tell anyone, it's all thanks to Tappy, a powerful property care software that takes all the pain, stress, and chaos out of dealing with maintenance and turns it into a predictable process that is reliable and frictionless, where every maintenance process is a smooth experience for everyone, with value adds that your owners and tenants will absolutely love. And it seamlessly integrates with your property management software too. And here's the bonus, it can actually help grow your business as well. And if you're rolling your eyes at me right now and thinking, yeah, right, I've heard all this before, then do yourself a favor and book in for a demo at tappy.com.au. Mention That Property Mum and receive 1 month free on Tappy. Can I ask you a quick favor before you leave this episode? Now, we all know how important reviews are for businesses these days, and mine is no different. If you could spare just a minute to follow, rate, and review this podcast, it would mean a lot to me. In fact, what would get me super excited is if you share this podcast with someone in the industry who you think might need to hear some of the episodes right now. And if you'd like to find out more about working with me or any of the products I have to help you start, grow, or scale your property management business, head to my website, thatpropertymum.com.au, or check out the links in the show notes.